Today's Daf Yomi is Kesubos Daf Ayin Ches 78. We start the new chapter called Ha'isha Shenafu, and it means the woman for whom fell. So what are we talking about? Fell? We're talking about if there were properties that every woman when she comes into a marriage is able to bring in two types of properties. Properties are called Nichse Tzon Barzel, which literally translates as sheep and iron, or Nichse Malug, or plucking properties. The Nichse Tzon Barzel are properties which she designates their value, and it's a fixed value, and then when the marriage terminates, the husband gives her that value that they had agreed upon at the outset of the marriage. The Nichse Malug is where the woman brings in the property while she's married to the husband. The husband has the right to the fruits of that property, but the woman gets the principal back. She gets the property back at the termination of the marriage. So our Mishnah discusses who has the right to sell that property while they're married. Does the woman have the right to sell it, or do we say since the husband has the fruits, since he's entitled to the fruits, that he has the rights to it and she can't sell it? So now our Mishnah discusses four cases. The first case is Ha'isha shenafu anachasim ad shelo tesaris, a woman who got some property before she was betrothed. Modim Beis Shammai Beis Hillel, then both Beis Shammai and even Beis Hillel, here Beis Hillel's position is going to be a little bit stricter from one perspective. As Tosfos points out here, one person's strict is the other one's leniency in this case, as we'll see in a moment. So if the woman gets the property while she's betrothed, both Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agree, and even there she has the right to sell it or give it away, and it's a valid transfer because she got the property before she was even betrothed. So after she's betrothed, she still has the right to sell it and give it away, even initially, according to both Beis Shammai and even Beis Hillel. But nafula mishinis arsa, that's case number two. Let's say she only got the property after she was betrothed. That's when she, let's say, inherited an apartment building. Beis Shammai omrim timkor, Beis Hillel omrim lo timkor. And under those circumstances, Beis Shammai says she has the rights to sell the property. Beis Hillel omrim lo timkor. So Beis Shammai says she has the right to sell while she's still betrothed, only while she's still betrothed. But once she be married, she wouldn't have the right. So that's why the point is we're talking about while she's betrothed. She got the property while she's betrothed and she wants to sell while she's betrothed. Beis Shammai says she can, Beis Hillel says she cannot, but modim both of them agree, even Beis Hillel agrees that if she went ahead and sold it, it's a valid sale. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Chachamim Lefnei Rabbi Gamliel. So Rabbi Yehuda introduces a conversation that the Chachamim had in front of Rabbi Gamliel, and they said, "All v'zacha be'isha, well yizkeh b'nechasim." So they said, "Why does she have the right to sell it there? Since he has certain rights to his betrothed wife, doesn't he also have the right to her property? And so therefore, why is she able to sell it?" We're going to discuss which part is Rabbi Yehuda referring to. The lechatchila part that Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agree, or the part where Beis Hillel says it's only okay b'di'evet. So we're going to discuss that. But for now, we introduce Rabbi Yehuda's version of what the Chachamim say to Rabbi Gamliel. And Rabbi Gamliel responded to the Chachamim, Amohem al chadashim anu boshim. We are even embarrassed, meaning to say we're not comfortable. We don't understand why the Chachamim said in a case where property falls to her after she's fully married, that the sages say that the husband can go into the people she sold it to and take it back. And you want to say even the stuff that while she's betrothed, also she wouldn't be able to sell it. That wouldn't be valid. So that was that dialogue. Now, the third case, Nafu Amnishani says, let's say she got the property after she was married. Then if she got the property after she was married, then he already had full rights over her property. And so therefore, even Beishama would agree that if she sold it, that the husband can go back in and take it from the purchaser. But now we have the fourth case. Let's say she got the property before she was married, and now she became fully married. Then under those circumstances, Rabbi Gamliel says if she sells it, it's a valid sale because she got it before she was fully married. Amar Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia, Amar Lefnei Rabbi Gamliel. So Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia said in front of Rabbi Gamliel, how is it able to be a valid sale since he's fully married to her? Doesn't he have the right? So how can she sell it? So Rabbi Gamliel responded, we're embarrassed about the case where she got it after she was married and that the husband has the right to go into the people she sold it to and take it back. And you want to shetem galgalenu as the yeshanim, that you want to give her these properties also, which she got before she was married. So Rabbi Gamliel responded to that to Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia. And now we have the last position in the Mishnah as Rabbi Shimon Cholek Bein Nechasim and Nechasim. How you doing? And of course, Rishonim want to understand which part of the Mishnah Rabbi Shimon is arguing about. Rabbi Shimon, the words of the Mishnah, Rabbi Shimon distinguishes between the Nechasim and the Nechasim, between different types of property. Nechasim, are you doing about the property that the husband knows about? Lo timkor. That she can't sell. The machar v'nas not batal. But if she sold it and gave it away, it's nullified. But she'ina you doing about property that is not known by the husband, lo timkor. She's not allowed to sell it. But if he doesn't know about it, it's a valid sale. So ask the Gemara, why in the first case, the case where she was betrothed, then if the property came to her before she was betrothed, both Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agree that she's allowed to sell and give it away. But why in the next case, where she got the property after she was betrothed, does Beis Hillel argue with Beis Shammai? So Amar Debei Rabbi Yannai, Reisha B'Schuta Naflu, Seifa B'Schuto Naflu. So the Reisha, in the first clause, she inherited the property, she was gifted it prior to her being betrothed, so it's entirely in her domain. So he had no rights to her property at all. And so therefore, the only one who got it was her. But in the Seifa B'Schuto Naflu, including the next case, he already had rights to her. They were betrothed. And so therefore, since he already had rights to her, then if that's the case, since he already had rights to her, we're going to say that that Beis Hillel is going to say he has some rights to the property. Gemara says, well, if that's the case, in B'Schuto Naflu, if in the concluding case, in the second case, he was already betrothed to her, and that's when it fell into her property, then why does even Beis Hillel say that if she sold it, it's a valid sale? If he already has right to it. So the Gemara says, El Reisha Vadai B'Schuto Naflu. The very interesting answer. The Reisha, it's for sure completely hers. That's when she got it. Seifa, Amar B'Schuto. The Seifa, the next case, we don't know. We don't know who really has the rights to it. As Rashi, and so therefore, since we don't know who has the rights to it, Amar B'Schuto, and therefore, initially speaking, she shouldn't sell it, but if she sold it, it's a valid sale. What do you mean we don't know who has the rights? Rashi explains, the Erusin Oses Safek Misuin, the betrothal stage is we're not sure what's going to happen. We're not sure if they're going to get married. Shema tavo lidei nisuin, shema lo tavo. It's likely that they'll get married, but we're not certain. Maybe it won't lead to a marriage, and so therefore, she shouldn't sell. But if she sold, it's valid. Amr Rabbi Yehuda, Amr Lefnei Rabbi Gamliel. So Rabbi Yehuda said, they said before Rabbi Gamliel. Remember what they said? Rabbi Yehuda said before Rabbi Gamliel. Well, in a situation where we were talking about there are two cases that were brought in the Mishnah, and then Rabbi Yehuda said they said before Rabbi Gamliel. The first case where she was betrothed. She got the property before she was betrothed. Both Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agree she could sell it, and after she was betrothed. The second case is where she got the property after she was betrothed. Beis Shammai says she could still sell it. Beis Hillel says lechatchila she should not sell it, but the diavad she's allowed to sell it. So the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Rabbi Gamliel, and then Rabbi Yehuda said to Rabbi Gamliel, since he has the rights to her to a certain degree. Why doesn't he have the right to stop the sale? Well, Yizkeh ben Achasim doesn't have the right to the property. So, and Rabbi Gamliel said, we're embarrassed about the case where she's married. You want to extend the rights to this? So Ibaylo, Rabbi Yehuda Achatchila, Adiyavad. What's Rabbi Yehuda arguing about? Is he arguing about the case of Achatchila? Adiyavad. Rashi explains it. Puigi is he arguing on the Achatchila case, Amri, and Rabbi Yehuda is saying, Amai Mocharas Achatchila. Why does Beis Shammai allow her to sell it even lechatchila if she received it after she was betrothed? Because since he has the rights to her because they're betrothed, so also he should have the rights to her property. But he admits with Beis Hillel that b'diavad it's a valid sale. Or perhaps we say Adiyev Nami Pligi, or maybe he's even arguing with the B'diyev that Beis Hillel says that only B'diyev is a valid sale, and maybe Rabbi Yehuda says the Chachamim were saying to Rabbi Gamliel that even if he sold it B'diyev, then even if he sold it b'diavad, it should be a valid sale. It should not be valid. So the Gemara says, so the Gemara says, on top of 78b, Tashma. I don't know where he put the Gemara as our friend came yesterday. The Gemara says, Tashma, the Tanya, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Lefnei Rabbi Gamliel, that was taught in the Brayt, so they said in front of Rabbi Gamliel, Hol v'zu ishto. Hol v'zu ishto. Zumach Rabato, Av Zumach Rabato. So that there, he has another version on the Brayt. So that we're on top of Ayin Chesem Abayis. That the Brayt says that Yehuda said before Rabbi Gamliel, since this is his wife and this is his wife, Zumach Rabato, Av Zumach Rabato. Meaning to say, just like when she's fully married, she's his wife, and if she tries to sell it there, it's nullified. Also, when she's in Arusa, it should be nullified. Meaning to say, it's not a valid sale, even b'diavad. Amar Lahanan, about this, Rabbi Gamliel responds to the Chachamim, according to Rabbi Yehuda, we don't even like that case where she's fully married. And you want to roll upon us a new case and say that even in the case where she was in Arusa, it's not valid. So we see that Rabbi Gamliel says that Chachamim were saying even b'diavad it shouldn't be valid, and Rabbi Gamliel rejects it. So now we have a different version. Tanya, Amar Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia lo kach yeshivan Rabbi Gamliel Chachamim. That actually was a different answer. Rabbi Gamliel came to Chachamim. Kach yeshivan lo. This is what Rabbi Gamliel said. If you want to say where she's fully married, that he can go in and uproot the sale. Shakein bawa zakai b'mitziyasa. The Nusua obviously has rights that her husband has more rights because he can get her lost objects. He can take ownership of the objects she finds. And her earnings. He has total right to annul her vows. Talking about Arusa, you're going to apply this principle to that. Well, you say that the Arusa, if she's just betrothed, it could also invalidate the sale. She'ein ba'ala zakai. What about first where the husband does not have the right, not to her the object she finds, or her earnings, or her vows she's annulled. So Rabbi Gamliel responds in this circumstance. He's responding. It's a totally different scenario. Of course, in Nesua, if she's just fully married, the husband can go in and invalidate the sale. Whereas in Arusa, he has much less rights to her possessions. So Amrulo, so they said to him, Rabbi, the Chachamim responded, okay, Rabbi, machro achlo nises, v'alkach machro mahu. Fine, I understand. I will agree with you. They say, we agree with you. Fine, we understand this scenario. They say, we understand if she sold it before she got married. We understand that you'll say it's a valid sale. Fine. But let's say nises v'achar kach machra. Let's say she inherited it before she became married. Then she got married and then she sold it. Mahu. What will you say? What will you say in that situation? Would you say that he still has the right to go in and invalidate it? So they said to him, so Rabbi Gamliel responded, that's also a valid sale. And about that, they said to him, why, since they're fully married, he should be able to uproot the sale. He has rights to her. And about this time, this is where Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia says that Rabbi Gamliel uses his second answer. We don't like the case even where she's fully married when she gets it. We're not happy with that case. But now in this case, you want to say also that where she got it before she was married, that he also has the right to uproot the sale. The Gemara says, but v'ha'anan tanan. So the Gemara has a big problem with this because from the basis of our Mishnah, we learned in our Mishnah. What does it say in our Mishnah? It says, it says in our Mishnah that if she got the property before she was sold, before she was fully married, and then she became fully married, Rabbi Gamliel says, which means to say that b'di'evet it's a valid sale. They're ex post facto. But l'chatchila, it's not mocheres for no senes v'kim. So it's a contradiction. Not that l'chatchila she could sell in those circumstances. So it's a contradiction between the Rabbi Gamliel version in our Mishnah and the Rabbi Gamliel version in our Brisa. So therefore, the first answer is Amar Rav Zvid Tani mocheres for no senes v'kim. Okay, change our Mishnah, which Tosfos points out is unusual because we don't typically say that the Brisa has a better text than the Mishnah. The Mishnah is considered more authoritative, but so therefore Tosfos has a different version. We'll just go with Rashi's version. Rashi says that, and this is the text that Rashi has, which is change the text of the Mishnah to say that Rabbi Gamliel is saying if she got it before she was married and then she became fully married and sold it, it's only valid ex post facto. Rav Papa says lo kasha. Rav Papa says I'll explain to you a different way we can manage the fact that there are two different versions of Rabbi Gamliel. It's two different authorities. Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia Rabbi Yehuda according to Rabbi Gamliel. According to Rabbi Yehuda says that if she got it before she was married, then she became fully married, it's only okay. But the Evid, whereas Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia in the Brisa says it's okay even with Chafila. Mara says, well, you mean to say Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia can Beis Shammai? So do you want to say that Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia is holding like Beis Shammai? Does that make even sense? Rashi says, B'tmiya, this is a question. Because Beis Hillel says, I'm reading Rashi. Beis Hillel would say that even if she inherited it after she was betrothed and then sold it while she was betrothed, you can't do that. So it must be that this is like the position of Beis Shammai, who says that if you got it while you were betrothed and you sold it while you were betrothed, that it's okay. So we wouldn't want to say that Rabbi Chanina Maccabi is posking like Beis Shammai, or according to Rabbi Gamliel is posking like Beis Shammai. So Gemara says no. So no, this is what he's saying. He's saying Nechaku Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel al Dvar Zeh. He says that what he's saying is that this is what Rabbi Chanina ben Akavi is saying. The Machokas in the Mishnah is that's only according to you, Rabbi Yehuda, but according to me, that Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel both say she could sell a chatchila if she got it after she was betrothed already. So the Gemara says, but before Nisuim. Rav Shmuel the Amri Charvayu, Bein Shenefu Anachasim Achonis Arsa, Bein Shenefu Anachasim Mishanis Arsa. So Rav and Shmuel both say whether she got the property before she was betrothed, whether she got the property after she was betrothed, Venises, and then she got married. Abal Motzim Yal Kuchos. The husband can take it away from the purchasers. Well, this is the other extreme. Rav and Shmuel who are they like? Who's their Tana? Come on, look Rabbi Yehuda, not like Rabbi Yehuda, who says that b'di'evet it's only okay. Look Rabbi Chanina ben Akavi, who says under those circumstances, if she got it before she was fully married, even though chatchila it's about sale. So inu the amru k'Rabbo Seinu. So must be the Rav and Shmuel hold like a different price, like the position of Rabbo Seinu. They're passing like a price against our mission. The Tanya Rabbo Seinu chazru v'nimnu. The Rabbo Seinu, it says this in the Brisa, the Rabbo Seinu went back and they voted. And they said, Bein shenafu ha'achol tesares, Bein shenafu ha'mishanis arsa. Whether she got it before she was betrothed or whether she got it after she was betrothed, it does not matter. It doesn't matter when she got it. Venises, and then when she gets married, Abal Motzim Yad al Kuchos, the husband has the full rights to take it away from people she sold it to. So Misha Nises, once she gets fully married, Modim. So it said in our mission, when she gets fully married, everybody says, if she got the property after she was fully married, everybody says that if she sold it, that the husband can come away and take it. So what does that mean? Lema Tanina Utakanas Usha. Isn't our Mishnah just telling us the same thing that was done by Takanas Usha, by a Takana that they made in Usha? If that's the case, why would they need to make such a Takana? Because as we learned actually earlier in our Masechta, and there are other cases, but in Usha they made several Takanos. And one of the Takanos they made in Usha was as follows. What was one of the Takanos they made in Usha? They said in Usha the following. Hold on. So if a woman sold her nechsei mulug, this property, while her husband was alive, and then she died, the husband is allowed to take it from the people who purchased it. So we see from here that the husband can go in and take it. So isn't our mission just saying what they instituted in Usha? And Gemara says, what are you talking about? There's huge differences. Masnisim b'chaya u'peres. Our mission is talking about in a case where she's alive still, and our mission is saying the husband can get the fruits. Takanas Usha, the Takan of Usha is talking about begufa shel karka. The Takan Usha is saying the husband has the rights to get the property itself, that if she sold it while she was married to him, the husband can go into the place she sold it after she died and take back the principal. They're trying to stop these sales. They don't want these sales to take place. It says Rabbi Shimon was cholek between property that he knows about and property that he doesn't know about it. So the Gemara asks the question, ain't you doing? You doing? What's considered property he knows about? What's considered property that he doesn't know about? Rabbi Yossi bar Rabbi Chanina, you're doing Mekarkai, Shani, you're doing Metalton. Classic. The cases we know about are real estate. The cases we don't know about are movables. Rabbi Yochanan says, no, you're doing it. Both of them are considered properties. Both real estate and movables are properties we know about. But so it says, you're doing it, you're doing. What are the properties that we don't know about? If he really doesn't know about it, if she's got property overseas, she has it in her Swiss bank account, he has no idea. So therefore, under those circumstances, he will say that he doesn't have the same rights. That if this is the way Rashi understands it, if he knows about it, this sale is going to be invalidated. But if he doesn't know about it, the sale will be valid. So these are the ones that are not known. Anything which he sells, which he's here, and the property is felt overseas, so he has no knowledge of it. So